Yo, yo, yo. What up, my peoples? Happy Friday, man. It's Friday. That's right. The weekend's here, man. Don't we love it? Yeah. We got video gaming news coming up for today, June 21st. Then we'll dive into some more Ghost of Tsushima. Then we'll probably play some X-Defiant. Who knows? You know, we'll see what we get into. But that's kind of the plan right now, so I don't know. Hope everybody's having a banger so far. Hope it's been a good week. Let's do what we do, man. Let's get in here and check out video gaming news. See what we got. Cool, let's go. There we go. Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition is launching on June 25th. We kind of saw that coming, but we weren't exactly sure. So that's confirmation, looks like. Coming out of Ubi. What is this? I want to talk about this, and I want to bring up a point here. That I think is worth looking into. So we'll talk about that article. Oh my god, dude. The entire first page is just a bunch of repeat articles from a bunch of different outlets. What is this? Glittering cyberpunk life sim Nivalis has been delayed until 2025. Take a peek at that. When is Gamescom? Is it popping right now? I was gonna say, I didn't think it was that close. Yeah, so it's August. We'll get a lot of this and potentially watch some stuff come August. I thought it was a little ways away. All right. Davey, what's up, buddy? How you doing, man? What it do, brother? Coffee, honeycomb. Far Cry New Dawn. Let's go, dude. Nice. Perfect. Good start to the Friday, yeah? Let's go, dude. Love to hear it, dude. It's good to see you, buddy. I like this song. Over 500,000 players flock to Elden Ring DLC launch. You definitely shouldn't. You should play games. Don't listen to me, man. Well, I guess it's good for one thing, isn't it, Soup? What's up, buddy? How you doing, dude? Happy Friday, brother. Brothers. Embracer. Jesus. And another brother. What's up, Ferret? How you doing, dude? Chillin', minding your business. What's your weakness? Destiny 2. Okay then. You getting all hyped up for some weekend gaming, dude? Getting some raiding going? Here you go. Here's your copium, Soup. Oh, that sucks, dude. Bummer. Here's your copium, Soup. Apple Arcade launches 2 hit games on Apple Vision Pro. Sorry to hear that, Ferret. That sucks. Elden Ring, boss. I think promises From Software won't lay off its workers like other video game companies. This makes it sound like the From Software CEO is like, you know, actually a boss in Elden Ring, you know? Yeah, Ferret. Agreed, dude. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah. Let's take a look at this. Yo, yeah. This is, you know, I think this is going to flow quite well with what I want to talk about in this PlayStation article here, you know? This PlayStation article, I really want to talk about what this ex-PlayStation boss's obsession with lengthy games and photorealism has to go. And what they're saying, some of the stuff they're saying is only a small percentage of players are finishing lengthy AAA games. I'm going to take that a step further. I want to talk about that a little bit more. And I think it's going to flow quite well with this article right here as well. So we'll put those together, okay? Elden Ring boss. I know. Hell, I know. That's what I said too, dude. It weirded me out, like, reading that title, dude. Like a final boss. I know. I know. That's what I was like. That's a weird way to title that. Yeah. What's up, dude? Happy Friday, man. I don't like Gaming Bible. I'm not clicking on that. Oh, sad times. The Big Shadow of Erdtree Elden Ring patch is still tarnished with micro stutter. Oh, no. That's not good news. Gaming Bible loves you, though. Yeah, they love clicks, I'll tell you that. So tempted to upgrade to that M3 MacBook. Yeah, you should probably hold off on that. Still haven't finished the Talos DLC. Yeah, I think I'm going to be pushing towards the end of Act 2 in Ghost of Tsushima today, dude. That video you sent me was flipping poggers, though. I was talking about it yesterday on the stream, just briefly. I did a little bit of some X Defiant at the end of the stream yesterday with like True and Reject. It's so difficult. Each puzzle takes me like an hour. I was like, bro. I was like, Pinky prides himself on these like puzzle games. He loves puzzle games. He sends me a video where he parkours all the way around one so he doesn't have to do the puzzle. I was dying, dude. Brother, you parkoured the crap out of that, though. It was really good, dude. I was like, oh, that's pretty genius, man. Like, you literally, like, that was really smart, dude. I mean, in a way, I mean, you maybe didn't figure out the puzzle they wanted you to figure out, but you definitely figured out a different puzzle, man. Exactly, Ferret. Yeah, exactly. I was desperate. Yo, can I show it? Do you mind if I show it off? I didn't figure you would, but you know, it was something you just sent to me privately in a DM. So yeah, I found the way to cheese it before. Yeah, go ahead. Yo, check this out, guys. This is really cool. Check this. So this is Pinky sent me this in a DM on the 18th, dude. So like 3 days ago, you know, at night, and or in the evening. And I was like, what is this, dude? So I go to watch it, and it's basically him just like figuring out a way to like parkour through this section of Talos Principle 2 DLC. Check this out. Look at this clip. I can't believe you can land on that lip, dog. I can't believe... Yeah, it's ultra wide. I can't believe you can land on that lip, brother. Like, what the crap? That's so crazy. Look at that lip, bro. That is so nuts, dog. Look, and on that one, too. Like, what the crap? That's actually insane. I was like, this flippin' dude. Flippin' awesome, dude. Oh, totally nailed it. Oh, that's actually sick, dude. Really good. That's good stuff, brother. This spooky picture, that's not spooky, dude. That's Pinky. Yeah, what are you talking about, brother? That's Pinky, dude. That's Pinky, but just in a crochet filter. You know what I mean? So, like this. Oh, like a no glider challenge or something? Yeah. I couldn't believe you could actually, stand on that lip, dude. That was crazy. Yeah, really wild. But GG's, dude. That was really impressive. I don't believe you. Embracer Group says cake. That's right. No kidding, dude. Just parkouring them or what? Yeah, basically, Embracer Group said cake. Embracer Group on AI. We don't want to replace people with artificial intelligence. You guys are liars. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Embracer. You guys are a trash company. What is this? Previously canceled Switch game to now release in July. Did we already cover this? What is this? I don't think so. Obscure parkour, yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, dude. That's wild. Black Eye. That's a banger, dude. Let's go one more page. That first page was just nothing. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure online game in development again. Set to release in 2026. We'll take a look at that. 1 second, guys. My bad. Hey, I guess I could even more if I stole items from puzzles by parkouring. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game, huh? Yeah, we've been hearing some stuff about like new ratings coming out for Resident Evil, and there's something coming there. She doesn't wear lipstick. My wife's very natural, dude. She wears very little makeup, if any, which I love. I love it. Yeah. So, if we've really got, you know, something like to go to or something, she might put like some mascara on, maybe some eyeliner. That's about it. Which I prefer it that way. So, never wears lipstick, dude. Never. So. You'll never get that one. You'll never get that one. But definitely was getting some snoggings right there. Let's get in here, dude. Let's get in here. I want to talk about we'll save that. We'll save that. Let's get into this first. Let's get into this. So I've got my own kind of comments to add to this. I don't think this is necessarily wrong in a lot of cases. One anime I have no interest in. Yeah. There are a lot of people that have enjoyed it though. And we'll see what's coming there. Ex-PlayStation boss says obsession with lengthy games and photorealism has to go. So, I think what they're going to talk about here is interesting, because I don't think it's as cut and dry as they make it, right? So let's get into here, and I'll give you some of my own sentiments. So former PlayStation executive Sean Layden has said that the cost of developing AAA games will continue to hurt the industry, which is currently reeling from ongoing layoffs, offering his advice on making games faster and cheaper. Layden said that devs need to stop chasing lengthy games and photorealism where it's not needed, right? Only a small percentage of players are finishing lengthy AAA games, says Sean Layden. The need to stop obsessing over realistic graphics and game length are just two recommendations out of many that Layden offered to GameIndustry.biz, but they stick out the most. He pointed out that only 32% of players are finishing the games they start, so devs are making a lot of games that 68% of people aren't seeing. Now, let's talk about this real quick. So, now, let me talk about this second paragraph here before we get into this. Now, I was going to say, I don't know where he's getting the data at. He didn't even say. Layden didn't even say where he got that data he's quoting, but we have seen trophy statistics for some major games like Red Dead 2 that suggest that a large number of players aren't actually finishing games. So this is one of the things that I do think is important to take a look at, though. When you talk about games in general, and you talk about, like, maybe take the entire realm of what has released in the genre of what could be considered a big, lengthy, open world-esque kind of game over the past decade, right? And you look at what the percentage is of how many people have finished those games, yeah? I think you have to dive a bit deeper into that and say, okay, of those numbers as well, how many of those games are actually being finished where the games are rated very, very highly by players, as opposed to how many of those games are being finished where those games are rated very poorly as well? Because I don't think this is the as you know, just cut and dry as this notion. I think that what you get here is, on this front, it's not as much of an issue for the AAA gaming scene as, you know, just games are too big or too long or too worried about graphics. And you know me, I'm not one of those people that's more worried about graphics than I am about gameplay and performance. I want performance and I want gameplay before I want a higher graphical fidelity every single time. I want the game to play well. I want it to be fun. The graphical fidelity of something is going to be last for me. If it looks good on top of all that other stuff, then great, you know? But I don't care that much. Now, I think the thing that's interesting here is you talk about some of these coming. We've got an article coming up right now where basically, Miyazaki, right, the CEO of FromSoft, is saying they don't need to lay off people right now. They're doing just fine, right? They're doing just fine. And we've heard the same thing from a company like Larian right now. Larian's like, yo, we're opening other, subsidiaries or branches of our own company. We're starting smaller branches and offshoots for Larian. We're getting more employees in. We're hiring. We're not firing, right? So I think what you have to take a look at here is how many of these big AAA companies just don't know how to make good games anymore. And I think if you dove a bit deeper into the numbers here, we would find out if it's really just an amount of games are too long for people, or if it's really an amount of, you know, a lot of these big developers just don't know how to do it anymore, right? How many times have you heard about a big, lengthy open world game coming out and it's basically so repetitive and it just gets so boring so fast for people that they're like, it's not really worth it. So they just quit playing it, right? Dog, the artwork in that game was the only thing that was good about it. Come on, man. So I think we're gonna read the rest of this, but I think that you have to really. It's kind of a weird thing to hear this, and don't get me wrong, we talk about this notion a lot, right? In this community, we talk about it a lot. There is definitely a place for, I think, very long games, and there's a place for very short games, right? But there's also this premise of, are you getting what you're paying for, right? What up, Reject? Happy Friday, brother. Wait, are you home today? You ready? You ready to go shoot 'em up or play Rocket League or what? What are we doing today, dude? That was fun playing Rocket League yesterday, dude. That was really wild. I hadn't played Rocket League in a while. So I also think that's a component of an issue here, right? So you talk about getting your money's worth, and that's a very, very subjective thing. Everybody feels a bit different about that, right? But when you're on this front of talking about AAA companies and how they continue to want more and 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 more money, right? Do you though? I'll write you a sick note, brother. We had some. I was having fun. That's all that I really cared about, dog. I was having fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. You have to fulfill your destiny too. Perfect. I like it. So it's in this realm of there are a lot of people that are fine with long games, like myself. But I used to be a kind of person that, even though I liked long games, I couldn't afford to play them. I didn't have the excess time in my life. I was so busy with family and I was so busy with work that I literally needed casual games. That's where I got started playing Rocket League. You know, I started playing Rocket League because I needed casual games that were easy to pick up and put down. I couldn't be invested in games that had lengthy playthroughs, and I needed to keep track of quest lines and, you know, what was going on, because I would only be able to pick those games up maybe once a week, you know, and if that. And it wouldn't be for even an extended amount of time that day of the week or whatever. And so it would, you know, I would end up forgetting where I was, or forgetting what I was doing, or, you know, forgetting what I needed to do in the quest of where I was at. And eventually I would just get so turned off by the fact that, you know, I wasn't able to play it enough that I would quit playing those games. You know, as much as I loved those games. I'll give you an example. What was I, man, how many hours did I get into? There it is. Final Fantasy 15. I really enjoyed this game. I got like 45 hours in and I just dropped it. And it wasn't because I disliked it, right? I liked this game. This game was fun. And I want to go back and actually replay it, because at this point I have no idea where I'm at. But it was, you know, it was one of those games I really enjoyed, but I was only getting to play it every once in a while. And it just, I finally lost track of what was going on, what I was doing, and, you know, all that stuff. And I just dropped it. And I think there are a lot of people out there that have that same kind of problem with games that do tend to be lengthy and require that investment of time. Sometimes life's just too busy for it. So it's not always going to be a matter of the game not being good enough or anything. But I do think sometimes it does come down to that too. So I don't think you can actually just look at statistics like this, wherever these statistics came from, right? and just blatantly go, only 32% of players are finishing the games they start. And it just narrow it down to the fact that those games are too long, right? There's more to it than that. There's going to be a lot more. I'm just pointing out a couple of areas that make sense, and there's going to be a lot more to it than that, right? So again, he didn't say where he got the data he's quoting, but we have seen trophy statistics for some major games like Red Dead 2 that suggest a large number of players aren't actually finishing games. Speaking of photorealism, Layton said that some of the graphical improvements that devs are chasing are barely noticed by the average player. They are costing a lot of time and resources to implement. We're in the realm of differences that only dogs can hear, he remarked. I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, we are still making leaps and bounds, in my opinion. When you take a look at something like this, if you guys have not seen the body cam game, this is some, I mean, absolutely lifelike quality stuff. It is incredible. Incredible. And there are more games coming out in this fashion, right? So, again, as somebody who's not necessarily focused on graphical fidelity first and foremost, it's more of a cherry on top for me whenever a game is good in the areas that are more important to me. If it's visually appealing and pleasing on top of that, then, you know, that's just a nicety for me. But, you know, I do think there's still a lot of progression and evolution happening on the front of photorealism. We're hitting a point where there's a lot of really impressive stuff happening in the industry. So I think that to say that we're only getting barely noticeable graphical improvements for the average, I don't think that I necessarily agree with that. People are like being blown away right now by some of the stuff we're seeing on the realism. Now, to be fair, it's going to be really hard at this point to see how much more real things can look. You are going to hit a wall, for sure. Like when you look at games like, you know, what is it? Re-Record is the other one coming out that looks a lot like Body Cam and Body Cam, and we're going to hit a wall where the realism is. I mean, if it looks real, I mean, there's nothing else, right? I mean, that's it. If it looks real, there's nothing else. That's as you know, 120% realism. I mean, there you go, right? I mean, that's the only place you can go with it. So, but in large part, what I've seen from the AAA front is not that. They're not there. So to say that, you know, that they're done on that front and what they can do is finished, I disagree on that notion. Only differences that dogs can hear. I don't think so. This is a weird article from somebody that used to be a boss at PlayStation. I feel like it's a little bit short-sighted, and if they're gonna make comments like this, I think that they need to give a little bit more context. Where are they getting their data? As well as, you know, come on, man, you can't just say that. I don't think I don't think that it's going to be a big surprise to people, or unless you've been just like living under a rock for the past year and a half, that the AAA side of the industry as a whole, has been suffering, right? We already 6 months, you know, into this year have more layoffs than we did last year, and last year was mind-blowing with the layoffs in the industry. But if you want to blame it on something like, you know, the games are, you know, AAA developers are chasing the wrong thing, I'll say this. I think that again, I'll go back to what I've been saying for a while about the issue in my opinion, on the AAA front, I think a lot of these developers lost what it means to make great games. They've forgotten what it means to make great video games. We've seen it happen to a ton of these developers, where they've just, once upon a time, were amazing developers of great content, and for one reason or another, they've quit providing that to their fans and their consumer base. It became more about numbers, more about, quantity over quality quite often. And you can see these companies just become what I can only assume is riddled with business-minded people that have turned them into what they are instead of what they once were, which was companies that were mostly run by fellow gamers that wanted to push out visions of, these amazing gaming experiences for all of us, and that's what got them to where they are. But that's not who they are anymore. And so I don't think it's just, there's so many AAA companies out there that are just making subpar content. It's just not there anymore. So you want to talk about what's creating the issue of suffering on the AAA front in the industry. I think it's just too many executives, too many, people in management and stuff like that at these giant corporations that were once good that just don't actually, know how to make good video games anymore. In large part, there are some really good companies out there still on the AAA front, right? There are. And we named a couple of them here recently, which is, like FromSoft and Larian and stuff like that. But a lot of them have fallen off in large part. A lot of them are so big that their reach is so big that their umbrella is so large. They have so many subsidiaries, it's almost inevitable they'll come out with a decent game here and there. But in large part, it's just mass quantities of games coming out that are really mediocre at best, right? So I think there's more of an issue here than what Sean Layden is trying to point out. And to continue this, we have an article here, which is, it's funny the way they titled this. Elden Ring boss promises From Software won't lay off its workers like other video game companies. Weirdly stated, I guess Miyazaki is now an Elden Ring boss. It's weird that they stated it like this. I love it, though. It's kind of funny. But, I mean, I think From Software boss than Elden Ring boss. But, we'll take it. It sounds cool. So, despite the numerous video game studio closures and layoffs, Elden Ring's Hidetaka Miyazaki vows that his company won't follow the trend. So, there's been an abnormally large number of video game studio closures and layoffs in 2024, which has understandably caused some to worry about the state of the industry. Sometimes not even successful games are enough to prevent jobs from being lost. However, Elden Ring developer From Software hasn't followed suit, and the studio's president Hidetaka Miyazaki says that this will be the case as long as he's in charge. Quote, speaking to myself and this company, I want to say that this is not something I would wish on the staff at From Software in a million years. Miyazaki told PC Gamer, I'm pretty sure our parent company, Kodakawa, understands that and shares the view. We can't say with complete certainty that the future is going to hold for From and Kodakawa, at least as long as this company is my responsibility. That's something I would not let happen. So hopefully our players and our fans can take a little bit of assurance from that. Elden Ring has already sold over 25 million copies across all platforms, and that likely gives From Software more leeway if it runs into a potential rough patch. Having said that, video game journalist Lewis Gordon noted that Japanese labor law prevents companies from laying off workers just to pump up the company's revenue numbers for the appearance of profitability. If only more places had those laws, right? So, yeah, I think we're gonna take a look at what's going on with the Shadow of the Erd Tree stuff right now. FromSoft has been doing great stuff for a long time, and I think this is a prime example of a AAA company that is continuing to do well. And I mean, I think a large part of what you have to also take into consideration is these companies that do tend to give off the notion that they're very invested in not only, you know, making quality products, but there's this dynamic that comes along with continuing to be a great video gaming company, right? A lot of times it has to do with communication with your fans. They're good at communicating. They're always looking for feedback because they're always taking it into consideration to make their games better for their fans. They're taking care of their employees as well. They're pretty good at taking care of their employees. You know, they don't look at their employees as expendable assets or whatever, as you know, whatevers. Right? They usually look at their employees as people they want to take care of. And you know, there are a lot of these kinds of things that kind of coincide with these better kinds of corporations in the industry. When you see some of these things start to falter, right, usually the products falter as well. I mean, we've seen it happen for a long time with many of these corporations. So, I don't know. Like FromSoft, again, Larian, these are two companies that are shining examples of this kind of notion right now, in my opinion. And on to over 500,000 players are flocking to Elden Ring DLC on launch. The one and only DLC is garnering overwhelmingly positive reviews. The much anticipated Elden Ring DLC Shadow of the Erdtree is finally available, and player enthusiasm is soaring, creating another summer heatwave in the gaming world. No surprise, players are returning to the lands between. Over 500,000 players went back to the Elden Ring just ahead of the DLC launch. Steam database data shows that 24-hour peak reached nearly 590,000 players at 0200 UTC on June 21st. Excuse me, I didn't click on that. Look at this chart though. Jesus. Nice. The DLC is currently garnering overwhelmingly positive reviews with 95% of approximately 2,600 players giving it a thumbs up. Given that this DLC represents the largest expansion in FromSoft's history, likely that many players actually gave it a like before even starting their in-game explorations. Yeah. Let's take a look at it real quick on Steam and see what's going on with it. Now, well, here's the thing though. I want to see. Here's an article that we have in regards to this. Sad times, the big Shadow of the Erdtree Elden Ring patch is still tarnished with micro stutter. Not always that micro. So we'll read this first. Apparently, and look, this sucks because when Elden Ring released on PC, it was not performing very well. It apparently was fantastic for console, and it sucked on PC. I played it on PC on launch, and it sucked. It was terrible to play through a game like that with as many performance issues as it had. Tons of frame drop issues, a lot of stuttering and stuff. Reject. I actually, whenever I was playing Hogwarts, I compared it to my experience with Elden Ring. It was very similar. Very similar. Yeah. It was quite brutal. I pushed through Elden Ring and played through that entire game with all the issues, but I literally won't ever do it again. And at that point, I basically said I will not pre-order another FromSoft game. As much as I do think they're a good software developer, they have issues with releases on PC. They traditionally have. But I pre-ordered on PC. It felt bad. It was very, very apparent they developed that game for console. It was another one of those issues, just like Hogwarts Legacy, where there was so much stuff beyond even, beyond the performance stuff, just with so many things in that game. That's why Hogwarts Legacy was just so reminiscent of the stuff I saw with Elden Ring. I compared it the entire time I played Hogwarts till I flushed it 8 days in. I was like, can't do this again, dude. I can't play through another game that has this same kind of crap going on. I can't do it. It just felt too bad. And the thing that sucks here is, again, the release of Elden Ring on PC was brutal. It did not feel good. There was a lot of issues. And I think that for most people, the content was good enough to push through the performance issues. But I'll tell you this, I would have, no matter what, I would have had a lot of deaths in Elden Ring. But I can, without a doubt in my mind, tell you there was a good chunk of deaths that I had in that game that were absolutely attributed to the fact that the game just played like trash on PC. There was so much stutter. In a game like that, you don't want to play a game like that when it's not smooth. It just sucked, dude. It sucked so bad. And apparently, their DLC is full of it again, dude. The persistent stutter issue is elusive. Some systems won't see it at all, but Elden Ring on at least one of my testing PCs is still full of Scarlet Rot. This was one of those other issues. Was like, there were some people on PC that didn't have too many issues. There were some people that had massive amounts of issues. I was kind of in the middle. I wasn't having like a bunch of crashes or anything, but I did have constant frame drop and constant stuttering in the game, and it felt terrible. So apparently it's the same thing they had on the release of the game. If you're a long-term player of Elden Ring, you may well have been one of those PC gamers who has suffered from micro-stuttering, very brief but large drops in frame rate throughout. All kinds of solutions have been bandied around the interwebs for it, but none have truly nixed the issue. With a long-awaited expansion Shadow of the Erdtree and a massive 20-gig patch to the base game, you may have been hoping that FromSoft has done something about it, but I'm afraid you're out of luck. Elden Ring isn't a game I've been interested in playing before. I'm not keen on any Souls game, but equipped with a preview code for the DLC, including the full Elden Ring patch, I dived in, hoping to reach the point where I could start performance testing the new region. Yeah, I can hear the giggles from here. I hadn't realized just how enormous the game is or how tough the entry requirements to Shadow of the Erdtree expansion were, so I had to abandon my attempt and settle on just examining the main regions within Elden Ring to see whether there were still the same issues in the game code. Still, I should imagine there will be an awful lot of fans either wanting to start the game fresh, having not touched it for a while, or are picking it up again, determined to get to the point where they might be in with a chance of accessing the lauded new DLC. But if you were hoping that FromSoft had added things like ultra widescreen support or raised the FPS limits, then you'll be disappointed, as nothing at all has changed in that respect. As many of you will know, Elden Ring is capped at 60 frames, and although one can remove this with an appropriate mod, you run the risk of being booted off FromSoft's servers for doing it, or even being served with a temporary ban. So to that end, I've tested the game as in, and I've only covered two settings: 1080p on low quality and 4K on max quality. The reason for that mostly concerns the fact that the frame rate cap is pretty low, so most PC gamers will be able to find a screen resolution and quality settings combination that will run the game just fine. No widescreen support, I know, dude. Yeah, wild. Overall performance hasn't been an issue for most Elden Ring players. The main complaints have always been about stuttering, especially micro stutter. This is where the performance very briefly drops by a large margin, and in the case of micro stuttering, so brief that normal benchmarks don't pick it up. In real-time gameplay, though, it makes the whole experience feel somewhat detached, as if the game is input lagging, which is terrible in a game like this, even though the frame rate is fine. So to show you what I mean by how bad the stuttering is, here's a graph of recorded frame times, how long it takes between two successive frame presents. For the Core i7-14700KF and the RTX 4080 Super PC, a game running at a constant 60 frames should produce a flat line of around 17 milliseconds region. You can see major spikes everywhere, some as high as 100 milliseconds, just from running around the open world. The other Intel PC and the two AMD systems didn't show anything as bad as this, regardless of what GPU was used. There were still spikes in the frame time, so stuttering was still present, but the highest recorded was just under 30 milliseconds, equivalent to a low of 33 frames. Now look, I'll say this. I talk about this a lot. There are certain genres of games where the better frame rate you can get at a good performance level is optimal. And this is one of those kinds of games. You're talking about a a very brutal, very difficult hack and slash melee type of game, right? And it's incredibly important to, know when you need to parry or dodge roll and, respond after those kinds of things to get your attacks in, stuff like that. Whenever a game is not giving you, the option to get smooth gameplay, it's incredibly frustrating. And that's where I had such a huge issue with this game, especially. Not, there were a lot of telltale signs this was developed for console in the first place, and, menu issues and button configurations and stuff like that, and no key binding on mouse and keyboard and stuff, but the performance was atrocious for a game like this. It felt so bad. Let's get to the summary here. This is very long. I'll link it for you guys to take a look at. But I think it's fair to say that while my testing hasn't provided any conclusive evidence of FromSoft making any improvements to how well Elden Ring runs, I can at least say that the micro stuttering or mega stuttering with 14700KF system is still there, but not everyone will necessarily experience it. If you're lucky, it will run like it did on my Ryzen 9 7900 and Radeon RX 7800 XT test system, smooth as silk, with only the occasional minor stutter spoiling things. But if you're full of scarlet rot like the 14700KF system, it'll be a stop-start glitchy mess. This is the thing that you don't want to see from a developer as well. When you're talking about, obviously, development on the PC side of things is always more difficult because of the various configurations of hardware that people run. And so it's not as easy as console, where you just got basically very static hardware. There's very, very, very little, variety in what kind of hardware you're dealing with on the console side of things. So it's much easier from a developer standpoint. But if you're going to release a game on PC, do it right. Optimize it. You know what I mean? It's just so frustrating, dude, for PC gamers to be dealing with this kind of crap all the time. We see it all the time, where games release on PC, and some people's configurations will run it fine. Other people's have, moderate issues. Other people can't run a game at all. And it's not because of potato machines, okay? I get so tired of hearing that kind of bullcrap in articles and people on like forums. You probably just got a potato machine. No, it's not a potato machine thing, man. It's not like people are trying to run these games on 10-year-old rigs or anything. That's not the issue. It's literally a development issue where they're just not optimizing these titles for everybody's configurations, man. Noobs upgrade to Lumen machines. Yeah. Well, yeah. So I mean that's basically, this is I'll be honest with you. I just assumed that FromSoft had probably fixed a lot of the PC issues, but this is basically more of a look at how they have it, rather than it being a Shadow of the Erdtree issue. I don't think you caught everything that I was reading in here, but really what this was just a look back at testing the game still from release and the fact that there's still just a lot of issues in it. It's not necessarily an issue of the DLC itself. It's just the game still having a lot of these issues from release, right? So it's apparently these issues have persisted. So it's not as much of an issue of like the game got fixed for all these, players that had PC issues, and now they're having these issues again on the release of the DLC. That's not what's happening. It's basically an issue of they did never fix it. And this is more of a test to show people that these issues that were on release of the game are still there and persisting. And if you had these issues when you played the game in the first place, you're probably still going to have them whenever you play the DLC as well, if you're going to go back and play it. Unfortunately. So while we were talking good about From Software, here's a bad point about them as well, you know? Feels bad. Here you go, Soup. Here's your copium, brother. Hit Apple Arcade game Warped Kart Racers and Cityscapes Sim Builder. Launch spatial experiences on the Apple Vision Pro. Apple Arcade players with Apple Vision Pro can boost their way into a whole new dimension. In the racious racing game Warped Kart Racers releasing today on the service. Spatial titles on Apple Vision Pro deliver new gameplay experiences that blend digital content with the physical world. In Warped Kart Racers, players take control of some of their favorite 20th television animated characters from American Dad, Family Guy, King of the Hill, and Solar Opposites, using their hands to steer, drift, and throw objects as if driving a real kart in single-player and multiplayer matches. On July 3rd, Cityscape Sim Builder, the Apple Arcade Game of the Year and Apple Design Award finalist, is expanding its gameplay into the player's living room with a new view of the city. Players have the perfect bird's-eye view to manage their city as mayor, making meaningful decisions that impact the health and happiness of their citizens. They'll use the hands to lay down roads, build neighborhoods, and ultimately grow their city into a thriving, profitable, and sustainable place to live. Along with this month's releases for Apple Vision Pro, the service is launching new content updates today for hit spatial games on Apple Arcade, including Gibbon Beyond the Trees, Bloons TD6 Plus, and here's your pricing and availability for Apple Arcade, okay? Are you happy, Soup? You got your copium, dude. I read an apple. Alright, brother. But where's MacPort for more games? You shouldn't really worry about that. You should just build yourself a rig. You should just build yourself a PC, dude. We've had Lies the P, by the way. What up, True? Yo, thanks for playing games yesterday. Happy Friday, yo, yeah. Soup, you know. Bro. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, but I mean. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I'm glad we got to play some games. It's been a while, you know. It had been a while. I'm glad we got to play. It was a lot of fun, dude. It was a lot of fun. Bro, I was dying yesterday. I was totally flipping just cooked. We were having a lot of fun, man. That was so much fun. I was laughing so hard. Oh man, you got baseball today or what? What's going on? So glittering cyberpunk life sim Nivalis has been delayed until 2025. My peoples, we've seen some stuff about this, but when the makers of Cloudpunk revealed their next game would be set in the same cyberpunk city as their sci-fi delivery sim, my ears were pricked. When they showed you'd be running a noodle bar and fishing in the slums instead of flying a hover car around, I went into full wish listy mode. Nivalis, named for the cyberpunk city in question, was due to come to PC sometime this year. Plans have changed. If, like me, you're intrigued by the promise of a life under a neon canopy, you might have to wait. The release date has been pushed into next year as compensation here. The creators have put out another trailer to remind you what's coming. Let's take a look at this. Bro, I'm so hungry this morning. I'm gonna make like 10 eggs. I'm starving, dude.
Hey there. Get up. What do you hear when you wake up each morning? There's a rhythm here that only the
Why is this
most
what?
observant residents of Nivalis dance to. Nivalis stretches out in all visible directions.
You hear what you want to hear.
This city can be a bewildering place, full of strange sights and even stranger people. Luckily for
Excuse
you,
me. Dude, that
I'm
robot had
here
a sick
to help
mustache.
you
It was
find
almost
your
like
feet.
True's. Not quite to that level,
I took
but
the
it was
liberty of
close.
scanning 14,682 publications related to the running of a successful hospitality business, and I can confirm that you are performing above average. Good news. Watch the sunset and listen to the fishermen's tales. One day, maybe you'll be able to tell your own stories. Sleep now. Rest. When the day turns night, leave your life behind. Neon feelings, just another night.
Yeah.
Not sure how long I can stay. The spire is light years away. Come and find me where the night ends.
Gracious, dude. I'll link it to you, dude. Here. You're wild, bro. There. You can watch it. Nivalis will be launching in spring of 2025, say developers Ironlands in a Steam post. All right. I got your beats. There you go. Our city has taken on a life of its own, growing and evolving in ways we are eager to share with you. Ensuring that Nivalis provides the best possible experience is our priority. Your patience and support are invaluable as we navigate through this creative journey. Fair dose, I'll hang about. Still a vague date, but at least it's narrowed down to a season. Spring of next year. All right. So we'll see. We'll keep track. Only Rockstar exists. Dude, basically at that point, it will be getting hyped for sure. Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition. There we go. Launches on June 25th. Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition launches on June 25th. So 4 days from now on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC via the Ubisoft Store, Steam, and Epic Games Store, Amazon Luna, and GeForce Now, and will be included day one with Ubisoft Premium subscription. Bringing back the groundbreaking classic adventure game with a host of new features. Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition includes updated visuals running at up to 4K resolution and 60 frames. Updated controls and quality of life features, a new in-game treasure hunt and speed run mode, and a special anniversary gallery. Additionally, a physical edition and collector's edition will be available through limited run games, with pre-orders opening on July 12th. Ooh, that actually reminds me though, was there I think there was a showcase for limited run games yesterday? Yeah, we'll look at this. Whoa, what? Yeah, we're gonna do Gematsu. That's cool. Yeah, we'll finish with that one. Okay, cool. I forgot about that. New content to discover as well. Players take on a new treasure hunt with clues that will direct them across hillies and yield in-game cosmetic rewards that tie into Jade's past and to the Pirates of Beyond Good and Evil 2. Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition also updates the game with auto-saving cross-saves across all available platforms, remapped controls with full support for controllers, keyboards, and mice, and the ability to skip cutscenes. Did Nintendo reveal the new... No. I don't think anybody... Their showcase was banging though, dude. It was really good. They got a ton of crap coming. But they didn't know. Their new hardware, no. And I don't think anybody really expected them to be honest. Which is why I was really surprised their showcase was so good, dude. I'll give you, here's a link. We recapped it. It'll be in the video gaming news section here. I'll grab you this link real quick so you can take a look at it. But, We recapped it yesterday. Where is this? Yeah, right here, dude. I got you. There's your recap. There was maybe one or two things missing, but the gist of it's right there in that article, and it was actually a pretty good showcase, dude. I was really surprised because I didn't expect them to showcase any the new hardware, which they didn't, and I know they're really focused on it, the new hardware and the new software that's going to be going along with it and everything, which I'm expecting us to get some kind of showcase towards the end of the year for, right? Because it'll be releasing at the beginning of next year. And so I didn't expect them to have a whole lot to offer right now. And dude, there's all kinds of stuff. Like a whole bunch of stuff, dude. Like Metroid Prime 4 is coming. They showcased that. A new Mario Luigi game. A new Legend of Zelda game where you play as Zelda. There's a new Mario Party game coming out. All kinds of stuff, dude. It was a really good showcase, actually. There was a ton of stuff. I'm missing a ton. That was just some of the stuff off the top of my head, but I would highly recommend going back and taking a look at that link, man, and recapping it. Last but not least, Beyond Good and Evil fans can get their fresh insight into the development of the 2003 as that Zelda guy. Yeah, I know. Original New Anniversary Gallery, which features previously unreleased art, videos, anecdotes from developers, and other never-before-seen content. It's going to arrive on June 25th, again on PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. All right. There you go. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure online game in development again, and is set to release in 2026, people. See what we got here. Besides just epic cleavage, you know, K-Lab have resumed work on their licensed online game based on the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime series. Game is set to launch worldwide, excluding Japan, on mobile platforms in 2026. The initial announcement of a new JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game was made back in August of 2020 when K-Lab first acquired distribution rights from the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Production Committee. As per a subsequent announcement from 2022, the project was initially supposed to have been co-developed by K-Lab and China-based Xingqiu Games. However, work on the game was suspended due to circumstances involving the partnering developer. Now K-Lab has teamed up with Wanda Cinemas Games, which has previously published a mobile game based on the Tenjin Toppa Gurren Lagann IP. That was a mouthful. In collaboration with Aniplex. Details regarding the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure game, including its title, are to be revealed through future announcements. So there you go. If you're a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fan, got a game coming in 2026, so it's still a little bit in the future. You know, Soup loves to live there, so, you know, maybe he can give you some info on it. Previously canceled Nintendo Switch game to now release in July. People, this long-awaited Switch game is finally arriving in mere weeks. Deliver Us the Moon will make good on its past promise to arrive on Switch. Announced in a new trailer yesterday? Yes. Kyokin Interactive and Wire Productions revealed that Deliver Us the Moon will drop on Switch in less than a month on July 16th. This version of the game will be identical to those seen on other platforms, but it will not be playable on the go thanks to the capabilities of the Switch. As for its price, it's expected to retail for $24.99 US, which is the same cost as it sold on other platforms. The one unique thing about Deliver Us the Moon for the Switch is that all sales from the game on this platform will go towards Kyokin Interactive's next entry in the series. At this point in time, Kyokin is running a Kickstarter for Deliver Us Home, which is the follow-up installment to Deliver Us the Moon. Sales that are generated from the Switch release will be put towards this Kickstarted as the project continues to push toward its goal of raising a little more than $107,000. So if you want to see Deliver Us Home become a reality, you might want to consider buying Deliver Us the Moon on Switch. I'll link this if you don't know what the game is. It's been on other platforms for quite some time. But if you want to watch the trailer or whatever, there it is. And lastly, but not leastly, we've got Limited Run Games had a showcase yesterday. There, that looks good. Yeah, Limited Run Games had a showcase yesterday. And I didn't necessarily watch it because I felt like it would be a better one to just kind of recap. As a lot of what Limited Run Games does is just bring us physical copies and cool little special editions of games that you might want to get some collector stuff on and things like that. So Limited Run Games announces over 20 new physical releases at Limited Run Games 3 2024. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everyone. Here we go. 20 new titles that will receive physical releases as part of the that were announced during the showcase, including Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition and Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, Penny's Big Breakaway, and more. Apparently, they teased a partnership on social media also with Grasshopper Manufacturer for a future project. We'll see what comes of that. But known for their unwavering love of physical, the following game announcements are set to arrive in physical form only. Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary Edition, Sea Smash VRS, Cosmic Fantasy Collection 2, G.I. Joe, Wrath of Cobra. I can't not say it like that. I'm sorry. Hitman, Blood Money Reprisal, Jay and Silent Bob, Chronic Blunt Punch. Let's go. Lollipop Chainsaw Repop, Ninja 5-0, Penny's Big Breakaway, Rain World. Nice, Rain World. Rugrats, Adventure in Gameland, Starship Troopers Extermination, Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster, Toxic Crusaders, Valis the Phantasm Soldier Collection 3, and Wolfenstein 2 The New Colossus. Yeah. The following games have been developed using Limited Run Games' proprietary Carbon engine designed to offer the highest levels of authenticity. Each of the following games will also be arriving in physical form only. Bubsy in the Perfect Collection, Clock Tower Rewind, we knew that was coming, Gex Trilogy, Shantae Advance Risky Revolution, Toomba Special Edition, and Toomba 2. Upcoming releases due to ship digitally as well as physically, which also featured in LRG3 2024, included Double Shake, Fear Effect, Fighting Force Collection, Ghost, and Renane. Also showcased were Assault Suit Linos 2, Saturn Tribute, Gimmick 2, and Snow Bros Wonderland. You can re-watch the entire showcase right here, okay? I'll pull up their website as well. Limited Run Games. Boop. So, this will give you an idea of what you'll be in for. You know, they do really cool stuff. Always bringing us a look. You can get like, they do these cool like old school boxes. They'll even do like regular Nintendo cartridges and stuff. Like, it's really wild. They do some really cool stuff, man. Double Dragon Collection, dope for the Switch. Look at that, collectors, Double Dragon collector's edition. That's really neat. Tomb Raider stuff. They do really cool stuff, man. It's really neat. So all of the things we just listed are going to be coming here to their website, and there's all kinds of cool stuff. I mean, you can see they do these cartridges, and it's a pretty cool organization, pretty cool company. They do a lot of really neat stuff. So check them out, man. Cool place for collectors. Yeah. That's the news, my dudes and dudettes. We're gonna play games for the rest of the day. Appreciate everybody being here and being a part of it, man. You know, we'll do some Ghost of Tsushima, and who knows, if we have people interested in doing some shooter stuff, then towards the end of the day we'll probably jump in and do some X Defiant and have some fun. You know how it goes. But we'll hop in here first with some Ghost of Tsushima and keep pushing towards finishing up Act 2. And if anybody's been hanging out this morning, you're not familiar with what we do, this is the jam, man. This is the way we start off all of our streams 6 days a week, every day but Wednesday. We begin at 6 a.m. CST CDT, that's 7 a.m. Eastern Time or 4 a.m. Pacific. And we always just try to stay current on what's happening in the industry, talk about a lot of these things that are happening, and promote a healthier place and environment for all of us as gaming enthusiasts, man. That's what it's about. And we have an amazing community here. We're always looking for more awesome people to come be a part of what we do. It's a great place to be every single day for me, and I know for a lot of other people, and we're always looking for more cool people to be a part of it. It's always about taking care of one another and just having a good time, spreading good vibes. And, you know, just trying to enjoy the world of video games while we do it, man. So if you can dig that, then come be a part of it when we're live and you're doing the news and playing games and stuff, man. Cool. So happy Friday, everybody. I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. I hope you had a great week so far as well. And I don't know, man. I'm going to run us an outro, sum up this news segment, and get us prepared for starting to play games. But I'm not going anywhere. I'll be right back. I'm just going to run this outro. I'll see you in 1 second. Thanks, guys.